on your yoga mat. Take your hands to your kneecaps. As you inhale, begin your seated cat-cow. Squeeze your shoulder blades in and down your spine. And exhale, push the spine away. Inhale, open through the front of the heart. Exhale, try to open the space behind your heart. You can link breath to movement if that feels good, or maybe you move a little bit more slowly. Maybe you're lingering a little longer in your stretches. Do whatever you need to do to reel your consciousness onto the mat and allow yourself to make space from whatever happened earlier today or earlier this week. With your next breath in, sit tall. Exhale, twist to the right. You can take your left hand to your right kneecap. Try to ground down through the seat with your breath in. Lengthen and energize the spine. Exhale to center. Sit tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Try to plug your hips into the earth, and as you're breathing in, visualize your spine lengthening, or visualize it extending out through the top of the head so that it can reach up and touch the sky. Come back to center. Deer sit. Take your left shin, bring it parallel to the front of the mat, and bend your right knee. We're gonna just kind of bring our right heel to our right hip. Take a moment here with your hands resting on your legs to take a breath and to breathe a sense of peace and ease through your hips so that you can relax your hips and legs so that they're resting evenly beneath you. Let your body begin to move. It's like you're stirring your torso. You can make little circles. Maybe you're just swaying or rocking. Sometimes rocking your body can be very grounding, very soothing, just like when a mom rocks her baby. It's a way that you can self-soothe yourself. Move in any way that lets you feel more connected to this moment. Move in any way that brings you peace. With your next breath in, sit up nice and tall. Try to just shift your body weight over your seat for a moment. Let's bring the sole of our left foot to our right thigh. Maybe you try to flex your left foot so that your left leg becomes active. Relax through your hips so that you can feel your sits bones, your ischial tuberosities, grounding evenly beneath your torso. Close your eyes. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, release what no longer serves you. Try to release anything that's holding you back, whether it's a thought, if it's a feeling, if it's energy. Let it go and imagine that the earth is pulling that energy out of you. Try to visualize the earth absorbing it, visualize it being drawn away. So that with each cycle of breath, as you breathe in, your mind feels more energized and focused. And as you let the breath go, you feel more at ease, more peaceful. Press down through your seat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Try to touch the top of your head to the ceiling. With your breath out, twist to the left. Try to twist from the waistline. When we're twisting, we're lengthening by lifting up through the top of the head. We're lengthening our spines before we twist. Rotate to center. Let's walk our hands forward. We don't have to overstretch or overreach. Try to think about your sacrum, the triangular shaped bone at the base of your spine, as an anchor. Try to feel it lengthening towards the mat. As your hips and low back are pressing down, it's deepening the sensation of opening through the hips and through your back. Maybe you walk your hands just a little bit further. If rocking is helping you to feel more at peace, go ahead, let your body rock. Your eyes can close. Walk your hands back. Sit up nice and tall as you breathe in. And with your exhalation, take your counter twist to the right. Try to imagine that as you're twisting, you're rinsing or wringing out the body, just like you would if you were wringing out a wet sponge. What do you want to release tonight? Let it go. Good. Come back to center. Extend your right leg. Press the right heel away from you. We're going to slide our right hand down our right leg. Try to anchor down through the base of your left hip. Maybe you extend your left arm up and over. Try to reach your heart forward and up. Maybe you turn your gaze or just stay up at your left palm. Good, let's come back to center. We're going to extend our left leg so that we're in a nice wide straddle. You can walk your hands forward. Take your hands back. And now bend the right knee. Bring your right shin parallel to the front of your yoga mat. Bend your left knee and bring your left heel towards your left hip or left glute. Let your hands rest over your legs and just observe your body as you begin to move. Focus on your breath as you're moving. Let's ease back to center. We'll sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Try to pull the belly button in and up to your spine as you're twisting. Rotate back to center. Nice job, you guys. Let's walk our hands forward. We're just going to gradually deepen the stretch by taking our arms further and further away. Let's walk our hands back. We'll sit up nice and tall and exhale, twist to the left. We want to remember to find length in our twists. It's not about the rotation as much as it is about energizing and lengthening the spine and then allowing your body to spiral around the axis of the spine as you're twisting. Come back to center. Extend the left leg away from you. Good. Slide your left hand down your left leg and then maybe we just start to arc ourselves towards our extended leg. Pull the front body towards your back body. Plug your right hip down. Try to keep your hips evenly grounded beneath you and lift right up through the heart. Maybe you look up at the right palm. Nice job. Take your right hand down. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Let your hands lightly grip the feet and rock side to side. You can close your eyes to bring your consciousness inwards. We don't have to worry about what we look like. You don't have to worry about anything right now. Just try to observe your thoughts if you start to judge yourself. You just want to be aware and let those thoughts and feelings go as they arise. Maybe you give yourself a gentle reminder that this is your yoga practice. So your practice might look different from my practice, and that's okay. Okay, let's ease ourselves into stillness. Draw your right ear to your right shoulder. Try to let your left shoulder become heavy and low. Exhale your chin to center. Inhale your left ear to your left shoulder. Try to let the right shoulder release down. And now roll your head side to side. You might take your head around in a nice big circle if that feels good for your practice. That feels good for your body. You can imagine that you're tracing the shape of the circle with your nose on the wall in front of you. Nice job, guys. Let's start to guide our knees towards each other. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a big hug. Push your spine to the back of the room. Let your shoulder blades melt apart. Tuck your chin down. As you breathe in, direct your breath to inflate the space in your upper back between your shoulder blades. Sit up nice and tall. Make your way forward to tabletop pose, to all fours. Take your knees hips distance apart. Make a few barrel rolls with your hips. Imagine that you're drawing a circle on the wall behind you with your tailbone. So we'll start with a small circle and gradually let that circle become more robust. You can try to explore your full range of motion, and whenever the body calls for it, change direction. So we just want to visualize that we're tracing the shape of the circle with our tailbone, right? Noticing how we feel as we move. The observations, the witnessing is what will help to quiet a busy mind. So if you have a lot going on and you're running through the to-do lists or replaying things that happened, we start to let our nervous system become very overactive. We go into that fight or flight response. We need to put the stop button on, pump the brakes, right? So we quiet the mind. All right, ease yourself into stillness. Let your body rock or sway in any way that brings you peace. Maybe you let your head hang for a moment. Good, let's step our knees together. We're gonna take our right foot and we're gonna step it to the right side of our body. You're gonna step right off of your yoga mat. Look out, bring the arch of your right foot in line to your left kneecap. Make sure your left hip is stacked over your left knee. Come down onto your forearms. If the ground is feeling very far away from you, you might put a block or a pillow underneath your arms. Let your hips press back and rock forward. We want to be grounding down through the outside edge of our right foot. Try to release your right hip down a little bit. It might be lifted so that your hip bones are a little bit askew. Try to bring your hips parallel to the earth so that you feel a nice opening and stretch through your right inner thigh. All right. Start to walk your hands back. We're going to come right up onto our knees. Take your right hand to your right leg. Extend your left arm. Press through your legs. Press through your foundation and arc your body out towards the extended leg. Lift up through the heart. Try to keep this right side body nice and long so we're not collapsing into our right arm. Good, maybe you let the right arm make nice big circles. You can check in with your shoulder, check in with your side body. Just keep grounding down through the outside edge of your right foot. Good, and now we're gonna cartwheel our hands down to side plank. It's a modified side plank. Float the right leg up. So we're gonna bring our right ankle in line with our right hip. Your left shoulder is stacked over the left hip, and we're imagining that our torso is pressed between two panes of glass. Release the right arm over your head, make a nice long line of energy, and then slowly step your right foot down, pressing through the outside edge of your right foot. Maybe you circle your arm again. Good, we're gonna sweep our arms back to the front of our yoga mat. Good. Take your right knee to meet your left knee on the mat, and now step your left foot out. Press through the outside edge of your left foot. Drop down to the forearms. Take take a couple of breaths here, letting your hips drift forward and back as you ground down through the outside edge of your left foot. Try to square off the hips, even them out. With your next breath, we're going to walk our hands up. Take your left hand to your left leg. Sweep your right arm up and over. Take a few breaths, just circling your right arm. Now, reach your right arm up and arc your body out towards your extended leg. You can look up at the right palm. Cartwheel your hands down to your modified side plank. Right shoulder over your right wrist. Your left foot is flexed. You're pressing the left heel away from you. Your left kneecap is lifted and the left quadriceps muscle is firing. Extend the left arm over your head. Try to look out at your left palm. Maybe you play a little bit here. Try to let the left foot step down to the mat and make big sweeping circles with your left arm. Observe how it feels in your body as you're moving. Let's sweep our arms back to the top of our yoga mats. And we're going to step our knees out to the edges of the mat. Take the big toes together behind you, extended, wide-legged child's pose. Take a moment. Really try to wiggle, press those hips, let them settle back into the heels. Walk your hands continuously to the front of your yoga mat. Let your forehead come down to the earth. You can massage your forehead on the mat. Maybe your body is rocking and swaying. You can always place a yoga block under the forehead or put a pillow under there if it doesn't feel comfortable. And as you take the forehead down, imagine that you're activating your center of intuition, your sixth chakra. We're visualizing our spine extending out through the crown of our head. With our breath in, energize your spine and feel the flow of energy moving through your vertebral column. As you exhale, we're breathing peace and ease through our bodies. Walk your hands to the upper right corner of the mat. Cross your left arm over the right arm. Try to direct your breath to comb through the left side of your rib cage. Walk your hands to the upper left corner and cross your right arm over your left arm. Press your right hip to your right heel. This time, have your breath pull through the right side of your rib cage. All right, stack your shoulders over your wrists. Press yourself up to all fours, tabletop pose. With your knees hips distance apart, tuck your toes under. Give yourself a foot massage on the yoga mat. We're going to press into the pads of the toes so we can stretch out our toes. We're going to roll the balls of the feet on the mat to energize the arches. You can check in with your ankles and your tendons. Good. Whenever you're ready, just press down to your hands and feet and lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Try to activate your midsection, so we're lifting up our pelvic floor. We're pulling our belly button in and up to our spine. Your palms are pressed wide on the yoga mat. Try to create a little pocket of air underneath the center of your palm. Your neck is long as you look back at your shins or look back at your thighs. We come to downward facing dog to reset our body and reset our spine. So try to feel your skeleton being pulled into alignment. Let's step our feet out to the edges of the yoga mat. Walk your hands a little bit closer together. Press your chest to your thighs, lift your hips, press down through your heels. Good. Take your hands shoulders distance apart. Step your feet together. Take your right leg up to the sky. Roll your ankles. Spread your toes. Step your right foot down. Take your left leg up. Same thing. Roll the ankles. Spread your toes. Step your left foot down. And we're going to walk our feet to our hands. Maybe you come up onto your little tiptoes, keeping your heels lifted, and then lower yourself down. Bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, press down to your feet. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. We're gonna straighten out the legs. Maybe there's a little micro bend in our knees. We're gonna feel our body expanding in 4 directions at the same time. So your toes might be lifted a little bit here. We're gonna ground through our heels, create a flow of energy through the backs of your legs. So as you're grounding through your heels, we're pulling our hamstrings to the sky. The crown of our head is reaching forward. We're visualizing our spine extending out through the top of the head. We're visualizing the spine pulling back and out through our tailbone. Try to pull the ribs in towards each other. Think of the rib cage almost like a corset, cinching tightly around the waistline to support your lumbar spine. Bend your knees, forward fold. Take a nice big breath in. Press through your feet, reach up to the sky. Interlace your fingers. Stretch out your body and take your hands to your heart. Take the deepest breath you've taken today in through your nostrils. And as you exhale, let a great big sigh escape through the mouth. Try to release any energy or thoughts that don't serve you. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Roll your shoulder blades in and down your spine. Step your feet out to the edges of your yoga mat. Hinge out of your hips, forward fold. Let the arms float up and away as you forward fold. Press through your heels. Create that line of energy through the backs of your legs. Try to feel gravity pulling on your head so that you start to notice length and space opening in your cervical spine. That's the back of your neck. You can rock, you can sway if that feels good for your body. You can release the bind of your hands at any time. Maybe you want to grab opposite elbows. You can nod your head yes and shake your head no. You can stay here or move into Gorilla Asana. So we're gonna slide our palms under our feet and step your toes up to your wrists. Press your feet into your hands and imagine that you're sliding your hands out from under your feet. We're pressing through the heels. We're lifting up through the backs of the legs. We're noticing a nice deep stretch through the hips and low back, our shoulders, our neck. The head is very heavy. All right. Let's slide our hands out from under our feet. Press your palms into the mat, shoulders distance apart. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. Step your feet back, hips distance apart. Draw your chest to your thighs. We're going to take our left hand, grab a hold of your right leg. Pull your chest towards your right thigh. Look under your right arm. Look up. And we'll change sides whenever we're ready. Left hand to right leg. Right arm to left leg. And look underneath your left arm. Okay. Take your right hand to the mat. We're going to bring our feet together. Bend your knees and very slowly lower yourself down. We're going to come down into hero pose. Let your hips sit back over your heels. You can stay here. Maybe you want to walk your hands behind you a little bit. That's going to give you a nice, really deep stretch through your quadriceps muscles. This pose doesn't feel good for everyone. So if you want to modify it, you can place a block underneath your seat, underneath your hips. We're going to extend the arms in front of us. We can flap our wrists up and down. Move your wrists side to side. Turn the palms to the sky. Curl your fingertips towards your forearms. Now, Turn the hands away, press through the heel of the hand, fan your fingers apart. Cross your right arm over your left arm, wrap your arms around each other. The modification here, if you can't get that wrap, is just to touch the opposite shoulder with your hand. As you exhale, push the spine away from you, round your back, curl the chin under to the heart. Let your forearms fall away from your face. This is going to be a nice shoulder stretch, nice upper back stretch. These are eagle arms. Try to use your breath to inflate the upper back. Let's inhale, sit up nice and tall. Try to lift the arms up. Re-extend your arms, cross your left arm over the right arm, wrap your arms, round your spine. The more we press the forearms into each other, the more opening we'll feel through our upper backs. Nice job, guys. Unwrap your arms, take your hands to your hips, come right up onto your knees. Okay? Take your hands to your low back with your fingertips facing down. Squeeze your shoulder blades in and down your spine. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your thighs together. Press your hips and thighs forward as you ground through your legs. Lengthen your spine and lifting your heart up. Turn your chin up to open your throat chakra. Come into a neutral spine. We'll prepare ourselves for rabbit pose, one of my favorites. So tuck your chin into your heart. We're going to glue our chin into our chest. Begin to reach your hands back to your heels. We're going to lower the crown of our head down to the mat directly in front of our knees. So that's why we want to make sure that our chin stays tucked in. Let the crown of your head come down. And as you're grabbing your heels, we're going to lift our hips up and round our backs. Good. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Press yourself up. We're going to lower down onto our forearms. Walk your legs to the back of the mat, Sphinx pose. Lower your hips down to the mat. Press through the tops of your feet. Lift up your kneecaps. Fire your quadriceps. Press down through your pubic bone and hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades in and down your spine so that you feel a stretch through your collarbone. Press through all of your contact points. Lift the crown of your head up. Try to imagine that you want to draw your forearms back to graze the rib cage, and at the same time you're moving your heart forward and up through the gateway of your shoulders. Lower yourself down, stack your arms on top of each other. Let your forehead rest on the back of your arms, and you can massage your forehead. Maybe you bend your knees and let your legs go side to side like windshield wipers. Good. When you're ready, use your core strength and roll yourself over onto your back. Take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a great big hug. Massage your back on the yoga mat. With your exhalation, lift up your head and shoulders, pull your legs back, coil yourself up, make yourself as small as you can. Inhale, take your legs to the sky. Point and flex your feet, roll your ankles, spread your toes apart. As you grab your legs, try to pull the legs back towards you, and as you draw the legs back, anchor down through your tailbone, press your sacrum into the earth. Point your toes to make your legs long. Let the arms rest alongside of your body. Press your heels to the sky. Draw your toes to the shins, Dandasana, staff pose. As you're pressing down through your sacrum, we're trying to touch our heels up to the ceiling. The belly is strong. Pull your belly button into your spine, and now grip your low back into the yoga mat. With your exhalation, slowly float your legs down. Try to keep your back anchored into the earth as the legs come down. And if this causes strain or stress on your low back, you can tuck your hands underneath your hips as the legs come down, or just bend your knees and let your feet safely come down to the mat. As the feet touch down, we're going to take the soles of the feet together. Let your knees splay out, Soothe Konasana, bound angle pose. Take your hands to your low belly. Close your eyes and connect to your breath. Let your head turn side to side. And bring your head to center. We're going to take a few cycles of breath together before we begin our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So as you're breathing in, we're going to take our breath in for a count of 6. We're going to calmly hold our breath at the top of our inhalation. And then as we exhale, we're going to breathe out for a count of 8. And again, we'll calmly hold our breath out for 8. So we'll take the first cycle together, and then you can breathe on your own. So let's begin. Start to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your breath. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Calmly hold your breath out. And when you're ready, you can begin your next cycle of breath on your own, breathing in for a count of 6 and making your exhalations just a little bit longer. Holding our breath at the top of the breath in and after your exhalation. As you're breathing in, try to guide your breath into your low belly. Feel your low belly soften. Feel it expanding out. Try to visualize your diaphragm dropping down into your abdominal cavity to give your lungs more room to inflate. And as you're exhaling, try to pull your belly button in and up to your spine. Visualize your diaphragm lifting up into the chest cavity to help your lungs deflate or empty. So when you finish this next cycle of breath, you can begin your Shavasana, your final resting pose, whenever you're ready. Allow your minds to open and become very spacious and aware in Shavasana. You can remain here as long as you're comfortable, and then whenever you're ready to reawaken out of your final resting pose, you can start to slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Make small and gradual movements with your body. Roll onto your side and rest there. When you're ready, you can press yourself up using your hands. Try to allow your head to hang as you come up. Let your head come up last. And as you finish your practice, find a seated posture and observe how peaceful, relaxed, and focused you are. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.